Kia ora and welcome to this episode of the Amateur Austenite. I'm Frances Duncan, an author and the founder of the Jane Austen Society of Aotearoa, New Zealand. My co-host is Emma.
Hello.
Today we're discussing Chapter 17 of Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. In Chapter 17, Catherine is invited to stay with people she barely knows, and everyone is somehow okay about this.
But they're rich strangers.
Does being rich mean that they're less likely to be dodgy in some way?
Of course it is. They're respectable because of their wealth.
How things have changed. These days, people are so suspicious of people with money.
That's an interesting point. Maybe it's the gap that's the issue. Like you would be suspicious of someone's motives if the gap were very large.
Like if a billionaire suddenly wanted to marry me.
Not so much the marriage. If a billionaire invited you to his house, you would assume he was up to no good.
Because why would a billionaire want to hang out with me? He must have ulterior motives. So the Tilneys are going to leave Bath earlier than expected. Catherine was so excited because she's just discovered that she's going to stay another 2 weeks after their 6-week stay is finished. But Miss Tilney tells her they're going to leave by the end of another week because her father is pretty well, which is the first indication that we have that the reason they come to Bath is for the General's health.
The first indication that drinking mineral water can make you healthy.
That's the whole point of Bath.
Yeah, but who knew it worked?
Miss Tilney is about to ask Catherine to stay in a very embarrassed manner till her father barges in and doesn't leave her any time to speak and asks in the most ridiculous way.
Love this. Can you, in short, be prevailed on to quit this scene of public triumph? So Catherine's 17. She's been to Bath and danced with a few people.
What constitutes public triumph?
Lots of admiration, people talking about you, constant applications for your hand in the dance, lots of marriage proposals, maybe appearing in a gossip column.
Would you want to appear in a gossip column?
Only a genteel one. Miss M appeared a vision in Puce Sarsnet.
As opposed to Miss M as a dirty slut.
Yeah, I think slut meant kind of kitchen maid, a slattern, possibly not one's sexual activity. Someone who didn't take care of their personal appearance. So that would be a terrible thing to appear in a public newspaper.
We'd say scruffy for that. So you wouldn't want them saying you were promiscuous.
Well, that would be libel and you'd be sued.
But this is why you don't use someone's full name. It's just the initial. Can you prove who they're talking about?
But I think it would be bad for your reputation to appear at all. Although I think they did publish arrivals. Like, I think it would be okay to say that Admiral and Mrs. Croft arrived in Bath.
I imagine people sitting at home looking through jealously, who's in Bath right now?
And it would be in the best interests of the Bath Tourism Board that important people were arriving.
And the way that General Tilney is treating Catherine is like she is one of those important people. Notice the friends that he wanted to see, a Marquess and a General.
He is very similar to the Thorpes in some ways. And he says here, but not for the world, just like Isabella does. And he's money grubbing.
He is.
Like the Thorpes. And he cares about appearance like the Thorpes.
Same motives. And lies like the Thorpes. Our mode of living is plain and unpretending.
Luckily, Catherine's complete oblivious ignorance will save the day.
When Catherine first meets Mr. Tilney, he mentions that you should only stay in Bath for 6 weeks. And here we find that the Allens had booked to stay for 6 weeks and then decide to stay for another 2. It seems that the Tilneys are only going to give it 5 weeks though, which means that they'll only be leaving a week before Catherine. But to her, it's such a tragedy.
Yeah, it's the intensity of youth. This is so beautifully written. To have her acquaintance with the Tilneys end so soon was an evil which nothing could counterbalance. Her whole happiness seemed at stake. That's so 17.
In general, the felicity of being with Mr. Tilney bounded her views, but once or twice since James's engagement she had taught her what could be done, and she got so far as to indulge in a secret perhaps. Oh, she's adorable, and listening with a beating heart as the Allens are discussing whether they're going to stay, those two. She's so excited, and then she's so upset, and then she's excited again. Northanger Abbey. These were thrilling words. Ecstasy.
Luckily for Catherine, we discover that a large portion of the ancient building still makes part of the present dwelling, although the rest was decayed. She is going to get her ancient building, and some of it's falling down.
Its long, damp passages, narrow cells, and ruined chapel. And she could not entirely subdue the hope of traditional legends, awful memorials of an injured and ill-fated nun. She's so getting into this. Passion for ancient edifices was next in degree to her passion for Henry Tilney.
And narratively, it was about time we moved on from Bath and into some drama of the Gothic kind, which this chapter is setting us up for nicely.
General Tilney's already gone and talked to the Allens about whether she can come and stay. And he says since they can consent to part with you, as though they are more important than her own parents.
Well, he thinks they are because they're the rich ones.
And they rely on the discretion of the Allens and felt no doubt of the propriety of an acquaintance which had been formed under their eye. Mr. Allen, but Mrs. Allen, are you really hoping they're going to counterbalance each other enough?
Well, she's respectable.
She's not very smart.
She's not, and she's not at all careful of Catherine's well-being.
Catherine is in rapture, with Henry at her heart and Northanger Abbey on her lips. All of this highfalutin language is very, very like the sort of thing you'd expect from the kind of novels that she reads.
And is also, she's cruising for a bruising.
She's getting too excited. Because you got to remember what happened when she visited their house for dinner and she had such high hopes. But that doesn't come back to her. And that is our discussion of Chapter 17 of Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I'm Frances Duncan. This has been Emma. Thank you for listening, and we wish you happy reading.
There is a dog trying to catch a fly.